Hey everybody, welcome back. So, blog read, the blog read was tonight for the May Madness Showdown event. And as I've done a couple times in the past, I took all of the solo requirements and faction requirements and kind of jotted them down and listed them, and then immediately hopped on Twitch with a bunch of my friends, and we kind of sat down and thought about some relatively obtainable cards that will help you be efficient with both your solo and your faction requirements, um, and kind of check as many boxes as you can at once. This is not going to be a comprehensive list of cards to use for Showdown because there are going to be a lot of cards that will do one or two of these things extremely well that you probably already have 6-star gold. But in my opinion, these are very obtainable cards, many of which that you should have on your roster and should have on your roster that's built that will check a lot of the boxes. And so the first one I want to talk about is Stunning Steve Austin. This is a card that is becoming very common. I think they even gave it away for free relatively recently. And everybody should be working towards taking him 6-star gold for his coaching ability. Maybe not so much to take 60% less damage from purple moves. That's not quite that impactful. But any color gems get 40% more damage is impactful. Having rainbow gem damage percentage up coaches and trainers is huge. So if you have Stunning Steve Austin on your roster and you haven't thought about taking him 6-star gold, he needs to be there. I'm working on it myself, slowly but surely. He needs to be 35k talent. Anyway, he is a WCW card. So he will satisfy any WCW requirement for your solos, and it will also satisfy your any Austin solo requirement. And the way that I've got him set up that I think makes the most sense, he will also take care of black gems, and he will break a lot of them. And the move set is pretty easy: double purple, black. And you want to start with purple loaded. So you're going to toss a 4x1 area to make into snowfalls. You're going to break all your snowfalls with black gems, so that'll help. And then this will cascade down. You'll end up breaking 28. And then you can use the pile driver to reload. Entourage. Purple moves start with 4. Tech Live actually works extremely well here. Purple moves start with 2 more move points, and then black gems get 40% more damage. But anything here that is purple move plus 2 will be just fine. And then I've got black gem damage coaches up here. JD McDonut and Boogeyman. Anything that will give you extra black gem damage is going to be perfectly fine here. Okay. And the move flow is really simple. You just purple, purple, black. The other thing that you'll catch, there are a couple of buffs. You will get the WCW buff, the 50% all gem damage that will help this entire flow a little bit better. Okay, you should be able to get this off twice because it doesn't hit super hard. As far as your belt and your medals, Furies, so Fury 2s, Fury 3s, whatever you want to toss on there. Gem damage strap. The Miz plate is here because I stole this strap from Striker Live. But this does actually help because you'll get some gem defense in here. And then if you want to, you could toss on a Black Royal Rumble just to continue to make sure that you're breaking as many black gems per round as you possibly can. So I really think that of all of the Austins outside of Bionic Austin, the Attitude Era Powerhouse Austin, this is actually going to be as efficient as you can possibly be while running your Austins. Austin 316 will also be fine. You'll be able to do some Austin damage that way. And then if you run triple black, you'll break a couple of black gems. The next one that I found that I think is going to be interesting is the WCW Rey Mysterio. Now, you're going to need a couple of things to really make this work. This moment, Dominic Mysterio joins the Judgment Day will help because you're going to generate more trap gems, and your purple gems will do a little bit more damage. And at least 1 gear. So you can generate 6 more column break gems. I don't have his strap set up, but you want a JD, drip, and yeet if you can. Or anything else that's just going to help you with gem damage. And this is the move set. It's a tricolor, so it's a little bit different than his traditional setup. But this is to kind of maximize the number of trap gems that you're going to break. The move itself will generate 6 trap gems. The buff that you get from being a trickster in this showdown event, you'll get +4 traps. So now you're at 10. And then from the moment, you'll get 6 more. And then over in the entourage, you'll grab 2 more from Acro Dragon. So it turns out to be a pretty significant number. So 6 is 12, 14, 18 trap gems. Trap gems, when you break them, they will increase your purple gem damage by a multiplicative 15%. And I'm sure this goes up the higher you have him in rarity. Mine is only 6-star bronze. Move flow is still the same kind of concept as what you would do with Rey Mysterio. You're going to make 10 column break gems and then choose 6 gems to make into purple. So you just kind of want to set up a row break across the top, and then you want to put trap gems down at the bottom. For an entourage, you want to run blue and purple MP. And I don't have it loaded up, but slide all the way down and find it. Most thrilling part about any content about this game is watching that thing scroll. But this right here will get you loaded turn 1. And be able to be able to use all moves. And the cool thing is, since they are column breaks, you're going to be able to blow the entire board and hopefully recycle some of it. So this is without plates and without metals. I just want to take a look at what the move flow looks like. And again, you're going to be satisfying your any WCW, any attitude, trap gems for your solo contest, trap gems for your faction contest, and you're going to catch red gems and you're going to catch black gems just by running a bunch of column breaks. Little clicky, but that's all right. It's a showdown event. Try to do something like this. And then just hope they land in the right spots, which they mostly do, except they didn't play it right. But that's kind of the idea. I think WCW Ray was given away as well recently, so he should be another obtainable card, and it does check a lot of different boxes here. And as you put more and more stuff on him, the stronger he gets. So that one should work pretty well. The next one I want to talk about is one of my personal favorites. I like both of his movesets. Awesome Truth, R-Truth. So he is raw. He'll satisfy the raw requirement. And then if you run him triple red, you will also do trap gems, black gems, and red gems. For your strap, the moment helps out a little bit. You would just do a little bit extra damage with trap gems. But again, it's damage with raw, and that's what you're looking for. Gear does not help in this moveset whatsoever. And then with your strap, you want to have the barber's blades on here. So anytime you make trap gems, you increase black gem damage. And then if you wanted to, you could throw any Royal Rumble plate that you want on here. Probably a black Royal Rumble plate or a red Royal Rumble plate. Either one would be fine. And then Fury medals, probably tier 6. Tier 5s would work just fine. The cool thing about this moveset is you have damage kind of coming from all over the place. When you break a trap, you're going to deal almost 1.4 million damage. You're going to set up 2 rows of these traps by using your running leg drop to recycle. And then you're going to make those traps into red gems. Entourage is pretty easy. Just 4 red MP. Finn Balor, because his move damage is actually pretty stout. And then Trick Hogan and Santa Hogan will get you loaded enough. It'll get the running leg drop loaded. And then Trick Hogan will let the running leg drop recycle the Truth Conviction. I'm going to run this one just because I think it's fun. So I like to kind of, since it's a row and you're only making 7 red gems with your finisher, I like to make sure to put the trap somewhere that has a lot of red gems on it already, but is not going to necessarily interfere with my recycling. And this is going to interfere because this is just really bad. This might actually cascade. Don't do it. Oh, I did enough damage to actually pin him. Anyway, you use the red, would have reloaded the traps, do another row of traps, finisher breaks traps into reds. The traps then flood the board into black, and then if you have a Royal Rumble plate on it, it will trigger. And whatever color Royal Rumble plate you have, black or red, will satisfy those. This moveset with no medals will do roughly 32 million, 33 million damage. So it's pretty nice. And then there's a couple others. I'm not really going to go over the gameplay with. We should be relatively familiar with it. Savage, NWO Savage. Just column breaks, row breaks, and then your multiplicative gem damage up. You could use a drip yeet combo. You could use the Pick Boy rabbit hole combo. Obviously, gem damage is all you're really concerned about. This moment does a lot of the heavy lifting. Column breaks and row breaks do 1,500% more damage. This is additive. All color gems 200% more damage. That is also additive. So this makes things pretty stout, but they're not completely out of this world since they're additive and not multiplicative. This takes care of your WCW, and then you're just organically going to get red and black gems broken just going through the process, right? There's multiple different ways you can run Savage in multiple different setups. They're all going to be fantastic, and it all will take care of your WCW requirements. The one requirement we haven't talked about is blast gems. There's a really easy one for blast gems that most people have. Zombie Cody. You know, if you have the gear, you can run him yellow, red, red. Basically turn the board blast, and then you turn all the blasts into red. It takes care of really just your blast gems and your red gems. So this is what I would use this in the tail end of the event, just to continue to help faction points stack up. But this is not going to help any of your solo points. As far as raw and getting raw damage out of the way kind of as fast as possible, I really think Julius is going to be your best bet. And it's just the normal stuff you do with Julius. 2-click purple. Okay. Make a bunch of random gems into trap gems, and then break a bunch of trap gems. Takes care of raw, and it'll take care of trap gems for your solo and trap gems for the faction. It will be very easy. Tama plate, obviously. Makes him hit super hard. I don't have a Tama plate, so I run the Trap 8 plate and a Royal Rumble. This also kind of does the trick. Fury 3s down here. Not a problem whatsoever. Okay. And then the last one of the obtainable cards that I think will do really well, and I kind of love this, is Otis. Alpha Academy Otis. I only have him 5-star gold. I've been meaning to work on him. I'm kind of shard locked on him right now. But this is a 5-star moveset anyway. It is corner shoulder thrust to increase your purple MP by 8. Dozer Bomb, make 32 random gems into blast gems. And then middle rope diving splash, make 16 blast gems into red. This will take care of raw. It'll take care of your blast gems, and you will get some red gems, and you will catch some black gems just because you're blowing up blast gems. Entourage, you do have to go kind of MP heavy with your green. So you kind of have to have Roxanne to make this work. I guess technically you could also use like +2 green here and then swap one of these guys out for a Santa and be just fine. 7 TK Santa. But I wanted to load up on blast gem damage here in the coach section. No gear or moments that I can think of off the top of my head. There's probably American made. I'm not sure how much that helps Otis, but it exists. And then you got 150. I've got 150% gem damage strap on him. Titan plate, Royal Rumble to help me recycle and just break a whole bunch of gems. Obviously, any one of them that you want to put up here will catch the bonus from your Titan plate, which is 200% additive to all gems. And then tier 6s would just make him hit a little bit harder. If you haven't thought about Otis Alpha Academy in a while, remember this is 6-star or 5-star gold gameplay, but check this out. This is cool. I like this a lot. You wouldn't be loaded. You wouldn't have this much MP in Showdown, but you do get to increase your purple MP by 8. You don't have to interact with the board. You just click the 3 moves. And then you blow up the board. The Royal Rumble play goes off. There you go. You didn't see it on screen, but it actually does somewhere close to 6-7 million in this setup, which is decent. Decent, probably closer to 6 than 7. But if you put tier 6s on it, and your opponent doesn't have tier 6s as on equipped on their defense, yeah, you're going to do some pretty good damage. And obviously, the further up you bring him, the more damage you're going to be able to do. So those are, what is that, 7 different cards that I found that kind of take advantage of the buffs pretty well. Kind of tackle the solo requirements and the faction requirements all at the same time. So it makes all of your Showdown energy a little bit more efficient. And that's kind of the name of the game with Showdown now, is not how fast you can get through it, but how efficient you can get through it. Obviously, this isn't a comprehensive list. I know I'm missing a ton of people. Obviously, like one of the main ones is Powerhouse Bionic Redneck Austin, you know. But that's not exactly an obtainable card. But do me a favor, go in the comments. Tell me who I missed. Tell me who you guys are going to be using to capture as many requirements as possible. And as always, if you've learned anything today, if you've been entertained by anything today, or if you just happen to like the sound of my voice, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe, share with your faction mates, and I'll talk to you next time.